Welcome to our Coach's Corner podcast, where we take a fun, informal, no-fluff approach covering all things health and fitness. Whether it's your first time listening or we are on your favorites list, we want to thank you for tuning in to Season 2 of our Coach's Corner podcast by Well at Humana.
The only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand, and damn, I feel like no one takes accountability, they want the credibility.
Welcome back, everyone, to our first episode in the new year as we launch our Season 2 for Coach's Corner. What better time to boost your confidence to step inside the gym? And don't you worry, we're here to spill the tea and all the ways to help you feel empowered. I'm your host, Dana, and I have hosts Eric and Amy in the studio.
Happy New Year, guys.
Woo, welcome back.
All right. We're already starting off pretty darn good. What we're going to cover today is new to fitness, intro to the gym setting, gym etiquette, how to make you feel comfortable, how to own your space. But I think the best way we can probably do that is to talk about our experience when, it may have been way back when, it may have been recently, or maybe clients' experiences that we've worked with when they're starting either at a new gym, a new fitness regimen, they're going back to the gym after they haven't been there for a while. So, Eric, I'll start with you. Eric doesn't work with clients. He is our behind-the-scenes guy, marketing, audio, all of this stuff that you see is in Eric's wheelhouse. So, Eric, personally, what's been your experience? Because you do work out.
Yeah.
What's that like
Do
for
you
you?
even lift, bro?
Lift, bro. So my experience, I took some time off when my daughter was born. She's 2 now. I've been back at it for about a year. And my experience getting back to it was, what am I going to do? Do I go right back to where I used to be? Am I going to kill myself right from the get-go? I actually took a smarter approach, didn't do that. But just getting back to the gym, and this was a new gym for me. So not knowing where the equipment was, not knowing how crowded it's going to be after work, before work, lunch break, or really just knowing what my body can handle anymore. So getting back in the gym, I had to navigate the space. And for me, it was just taking in what the environment was and really looking at that and be like, okay, I need to get a planner so I can write out what I can do at this time of day because there's 20 people over here by the barbells. There's no way I'm going to get in over there.
Yeah.
So let me navigate around that. Let me do something else at that time. And then when that space is less crowded, let me work that into my workout at that point. So for me, it was just navigating the space, kind of writing out what I can and can't do.
I think it's a super vulnerable time for people. Because whether you haven't been to a gym in 20 years, whether you haven't been in a couple years, whether you're going to a new gym in the new year, or you've decided this new year, new you type of thing, and you're going to try to commit to this. And we'll talk more about that type of stuff later. But I think you do have to understand it's a pretty vulnerable spot. And it's going to take some getting used to, and it may not feel extremely comfortable in the beginning. I think I take it along the lines of, think about when you start a new job. Mm-hmm. That shit is so uncomfortable. Yeah. You don't know where the refrigerator is. You don't know where the bathroom is. You don't know anybody on the staff. So you're not really comfortable, and you just kind of feel like you're floating.
I saw a meme, and it was starting a new job is coming in as a new character on season 3.
Yes.
That's kind of like gym, too. Everyone's in there doing their thing,
that.
and you just come in huh.
And everyone has this perception of your traditional gym goers are oh, the New Year's crowd. Maybe there's a few like that, but I say to that, forget them. I think a lot of traditional gym goers are really about overall health, and they actually love to see people stepping outside their comfort zone and putting in the work. So I think that would be my biggest experience before we turn it over to Amy is what I see from clients and what I hear usually, because I've worked with a lot of them, is they may not tell me oh, I'm vulnerable. But from what they're saying, I could tell it's so uncomfortable, and it's just a vulnerable position where they feel exposed in something that they don't know. So it's really important as coaches to really think about their comfort levels first and get them like settled in the space before you start like throwing everything at them. Amy, what's been your experience?
I remember my first experience in the gym. It was in high school. It's like my first real, like when I got into like lifting and actually like doing like the hard stuff, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, was in college. But I remember like I tried out. I was like, I'm gonna start working out, and this was in high school. And I remember going to like a Fitness 19 or something and going in for my very first time, and it was weird, and I was like, I guess I'll walk to the locker rooms and put my stuff away, and then I like put it away, and you like walk out and you're like, I guess I'll get on the treadmill now. And then I remember my first few times was just cardio equipment, and then like I was like, oh, I'll step out and I'll try the selectorized equipment, you know, because they got pictures, it shows you what to do. I mean, this is before like I knew anything about fitness. Like this was when I was a super beginner. And then I don't remember like the exact progression into like free weights and stuff, but I know I started with the cardio like everyone does. It's a comfort zone. Everyone knows how to walk, so like they get on the treadmill. And then I feel like the next progression is selectorized equipment because that's your movements. But then when you get in the free weights, there's so many possibilities. You're like, what am I doing here? But I remember like after selectorized weights, I was like, oh, I want to try the other stuff that looks cool, and like starting to do some research and watching videos and stuff like that. And that was kind of my progression.
I know I've done this. Have you ever done this before? But you're like on the treadmill or bike or whatever, and you're watching other people use a piece of machinery, and you're like, you're staring at them because you're like, you have no idea how to do that.
Yeah.
You're like, that looks kind of cool.
Like how
I may
they
go
do
try
that.
Yeah, and you keep watching and watching, then you go over there and act like you know what you're doing.
Yep.
I think it's one of those things like anything else. Once you're around it long enough, like it starts to become second nature, and then you can't really even realize how you got to where you are. And I think that's the big piece we're going to touch on today is more of like how to venture outside your comfort zone, things like that. We're going to get to that later. I think where we have to start, though, is how does someone choose what's right for them? Like, I think that's the biggest piece is like, I don't know, I'll turn it over to you guys. Like, what are the things that you look at? Because we all work out, even though like a lot of us we're in the industry, and it may be a little bit different for us, but there are some things that fit what we like a little bit better than some others. So like, how do you choose what is right for you in terms of like what gym is the right fit?
Yeah. For me, it was, can I take my daughter there? Do they have somebody to watch her while I work out? So that was a big factor. I mean, the stuff that I do, I can almost find no matter where I go.
Okay.
But except for that. Except for a daycare. Not every place has a daycare that can watch
Not
you.
many do.
Right. And that was huge for me. So that was kind of deciding factor.
Sometimes people want like a pool,
Yeah.
or
Basketball
like,
court.
like specialty things like that. Other amenities, then you might want like a YMCA or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you have to look at like the vibe you want too.
Yeah.
Totally different vibes. And that's the other thing too, like if you go into a gym, like maybe you accidentally pick like a really meathead gym because they're out there, like you know,
sure.
or like CrossFit or something like that. Like don't be so intimidated and think like every gym is like that because every gym has different vibes.
I've been to
it.
a Miami Gold's gym, and it was, I did not belong in that gym.
But then even if you do go to like, I would say pay attention to their customer service. Like, I think this is so underrated because like you could go to a CrossFit gym and you're like, I want to try this and think I have no business being here. I guarantee you there were 7, 8, 9, 10 people that are taking that class right now that started where you started. And something to look for is, does whoever is at the front desk or a coach or somebody, do they greet you?
Yeah.
If they greet you and show interest, that is most likely going to speak a lot to how their business operates and how involved they may get with you. So CrossFit is something where you need one-on-one coaching. So if you walk into a space like that and you're not greeted with anyone, I can guarantee you that's not going to be for you then. But you are going to, and I see that I'm in the industry. Like, I'll try out new gyms all the time because I like to do that. Like, I love to be in this world and just test out new things. The lack of customer service, I'm out. I'm like, I am done. If
That's
like,
every place too, though, right? It's just, it's insane how much that is lacking.
Yeah.
And I think it shows you right off the bat, like, who's going to be readily available for you. But there's also vibes of like some gyms are made to be like dingy looking.
Yeah.
Or like bodybuilding gyms.
Bodybuilding gyms.
Throwing around
Yeah.
real iron weights.
Like
and-
steel.
Yeah.
And
Like
A
like,
little bit of
grungy.
rust in the air.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
that is for some people. Like some people, like my taste has changed as I've gotten older. Like I used to love that grungy
Yeah.
type of steel. I went through a bodybuilding phase, guys. And then I did CrossFit for 9 years. And so I loved the box feel, all
Like
the
the
garage
garage doors.
doors.
Chalk flying everywhere.
I still do love that feel because it feels very freeing. But now I'm a little older. Like
a little cushier.
I
I like my
Little
amenities.
bougie.
I like a
Yeah,
little
like
bougie.
Yeah.
I like a bougie style gym where it still has like everything I need as far as I'm really into lifting. So like more free weights, barbells, dumbbells, but then they have turf spaces. It's kind of like
Yeah, I
a
like those
multiplex of
spaces.
everything. But the amenities are really nice and it's really clean and it's really new age. I think you have to look at that. What makes
do.
you happy?
Yes, but I also think a really important factor is location. So you might have to give and take a little bit because, like, you can find a
Yes.
great gym, but if it's all the way across town and you get up in the morning and you're like, I got to drive all the way across
Yeah.
town.
Are you
really gonna
like,
go?
I'm
Right.
sure it's a cool gym, but like for an example, I mean, obviously I use Humana because I'm here at work already, so it's very convenient. But I also used to be a member of, there's a Planet Fitness right down the street from me. So it's like they don't have squat rack, like free weight squat racks, but like what's the trade-off if I can walk there versus like I'm not going to
Yeah.
get in my car and drive
Sure.
across town for that.
And I think you have to be honest with yourself. Like, what works for you? What type of vibe do you fit into that you feel like you would fit into? And what are you looking for? Is your first step.
Yeah.
And it's okay to try out facilities. Like most facilities, they're either going to have like a one-time free guest pass. Most are not going to be free. I'm just going to warn you there. Most are going to be like a one-day pass. That's like anywhere from $10 to $20. It'll either be like a one-day pass or a drop-in fee is what they'll call it. Try some things out. If you don't like it, who cares? It was one day.
Right.
Like one day. Like, but then
And take cost in consideration too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you don't want something super expensive, but if you do want like the childcare and the pool,
Right.
it may be a little
it's
more.
a lot of pros and cons to weigh.
Just like everything
You
else.
gotta find your space. you
Welcome
know?
to
Try
life.
it out.
I think that's the biggest piece is like find what works for you, and you need to acknowledge what factors are important to you. Is cost and location the most important? Is childcare the most
Yeah.
important? Is the vibe most important? Like what is most
Do you
important?
want group classes?
Yeah.
Do you want like instructor led like group workouts? Do
Exactly.
you want spin? What? Look at those things too. Like what are you going to go to? Yoga,
Exactly.
whatever.
So you picked a gym. We
Pick a
found our
gym.
vibe. We picked a gym. Oh God, now what? It's like now how do I set myself up to be like comfortable in that gym? What would be your suggestions to our listeners? Like, all right, it's day one. Like I feel like I'm going to day one of my new job where I know no one.
God,
It's
the
very
first
God,
time in the
it's
gym
terrible.
is so it is.
It's
Even me, like knowing very well, like how to use all equipment, like walking into a new gym
Yeah.
is intimidating for anybody. Like,
But
it
I
is.
swear most of those people are really nice.
Oh yeah,
I swear. They may not look it. Like when I'm lifting, I look so mean.
yeah.
I
They're-
really do. Like I look so intimidating and so mean, and I'm like, I swear I'm not. But it's just
I'm the same way. Headphones on,
Yeah.
you're in your zone.
Yeah, they're either
They're getting
very
at it.
nice or they're in the zone and they don't care. Whatever. You do what
Yeah.
you want.
You
no
do what
one's
you want.
judging you.
exactly.
Go for it.
So what's your guys' suggestion on, how to become most comfortable in the gym setting?
I would say being prepared, like packing that gym bag.
What's that look
Making
like?
sure I made a list. I made a little list. But it also depends too, like if you're gonna be showering there, if you're going straight to work after, if you're just going home. So like there may be some things that you need to add additionally into your gym bag. I would say number one, bring water. Always
Yeah.
want to stay hydrated. I would say every gym has a drinking fountain, but it's good to have your water there with
Yeah.
you so you don't have to keep walking across
Yeah.
the place. So always have your water with you. It's like a towel optional, a sweat towel. Maybe you want to lay it on the bench. Maybe you just want to wipe off some sweat. That's kind of an optional thing.
Wipe off the equipment from other people.
Wipe off, other people. And
They're supposed to be wiping down their own
supposed to be.
equipment.
yeah, sometimes I like to lay my own little layer there. Headphones.
Yeah.
How many times we forget headphones in the gym?
Oh man,
Dude,
yesterday.
if I do, I might as well just pack it up.
Yeah.
Even if they got good vibe music, I'm like, I gotta go.
I have some of the beats that kind of go over your ear and inside and have the little rubber part that can come off. Yesterday, I got to the gym, pulled out my headphones, put them on. One of the freaking rubber things had fallen off. And I had this little prong just sitting here poking me in the ear. I'm like, what the heck?
Jeez.
Those are frustrating.
Yeah. I would say a hair tie is another
Yeah.
like underrated forgetting thing for anyone with long hair.
Hat. I
Have a hair
have a
tie
hat
with you, or
with
a
me
So you
at all
lift in a
times.
hat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I sweat a lot, so I need that hat to soak it up.
Yes. If you wear a fitness tracker, you might want that. For some reason, like for me, if I'm not tracking it on my watch, like the workout didn't happen. Like I have to have that tracked. If you are at a gym that has lockers where you need a lock, maybe know that
That's a
ahead
good
of
one.
time.
Yep.
Bring your
Yeah.
own lock. They're built in, so you
Yeah.
don't have to worry about that. But I'd say most gyms you should bring a lock. If you need a little snacky snack, I usually keep an energy bar in there just in case. I don't eat it every time, but sometimes
Yeah.
maybe you didn't get a chance to eat before, or you're really hungry after. It's nice to have a little snack in there, a little pick me up. And then also like gym clothes. Like if you are not like leaving your house in your gym clothes and going to the gym.
You need
Have
some
your
clothes.
gym clothes. You need your gym. You need like a t-shirt.
You don't want to show
need some
up
pants.
and have to work out in your dress shoes.
I'm gonna
That's
say,
the worst.
don't forget your socks.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh,
Like
yes.
like that's the worst.
Yeah.
Forgetting your
I
that
would
ruins
also
my day.
suggest keeping a extra pair of clean
good idea.
sooks
Yep.
in your
And
bag.
underwear.
And
And
underwear.
underwear. You
And
never
a
know.
sports bra.
You never
like
know. Those squats
all of it.
sometimes.
Yeah.
You never know. And then if you're going to be showering there, you need your shower stuff, shampoo, conditioner, bring some flip-flops.
Unless you're at those
if
bougie ones that
you're-
have it already there.
Yeah.
That's what I go to.
But yeah, bring your shower stuff, bring your flip-flops. If you're getting ready and you're going straight to work, don't forget your work clothes, your makeup, stuff like that. So just take into consideration what you're doing before and after to add those additional items. But I think mainly like water bottle, hair tie.
And an extra hair tie. That thing breaks,
really
you're in
need it,
trouble.
Like that can ruin a workout too. There's so many little things. Gotta
Yep,
remove
unless
those
you go to a
barriers.
bougie one and they supply them. I'm just saying.
Dry
shampoo.
I'm just saying.
That's my favorite
Nice.
addition that we added this year was the
dry shampoo. It goes like clockwork
Yeah, yeah.
too. It's always out. But I would say also like in clothing, that can be a motivational piece too. I don't
Yeah.
know about you guys,
Yeah.
but when I get new workout clothes, and it's not all the time, but like when I get new workout shoes or a new workout top, I'm like a little extra motivated
Is that the
to
look
like
you feel
especially
good
when it's
type
a
of-
matching
yeah,
set.
I'm like,
Yeah.
so like if that's something that maybe you need to like just get started, when you feel good, like, and when you feel good, you usually perform even better. Like if you feel confident,
Yeah.
you will most likely feel better in the situation that you're in. So if it's something like that, girl, get you a new pair of shoes. Like guys, get a new hat, get a new tank, something like that to just boost the self-confidence so you feel comfortable in what you're like exposing to the world, I guess.
Yeah.
The other thing is take advantage of the people that are there, the staff.
100%.
Like,
Take advantage of this.
like maybe we should reword that so we don't get kicked off of all of our platforms. But
Utilize them for their
Yeah.
yeah,
job.
let me rephrase this. Should you do a guided tour or should you do a tour from the professional, or should you do a self-guided tour? For me, it's like they are there for that. They're going to, even if you are a gym goer, if I go somewhere, I've been training for 17 years. It doesn't matter. I always get a tour because it's like they're going to know the ins and outs of the facility and maybe like provide you with something that you just don't know about.
And I would say be upfront with them why you're there. Are you looking for bougie? Are you looking for clean? Are you looking for group fitness classes? Because then they can really highlight that for you.
Yeah, and that's what some of their job is. It's part of what
Right.
they're there for. So they'll probably be very excited, and it helps you get acquainted with at least one person in the facility.
And if you're brand new, they'll usually show you how to use the equipment.
Yeah. Just ask them.
Yeah.
Just be like, how do I do this? Like, they absolutely know.
Yep.
They would love to show you that.
Yeah. And I hate walking around aimlessly looking for something.
People are
I'd
like, are
rather-
you
I wanna
lost?
lay- I
You
wanna
see
lay
those
out.
people just going back and forth.
And like too, like if it's something like I know Planet Fitness has like a circuit area, so like like oh this is the flow that's happening in here. Like I'm not just gonna hop in and then like you kind of get an idea of what things are happening where.
For sure. Like, so we've picked our gym. We've done a tour. We feel
our
good.
bag.
We got our bag. We got our new clothes.
Looking
we feel
good.
good. How do we minimize like the other roadblocks when we decide to commit? Because there's those silent ones that are like just coming in your head consistently,
Yep.
and you try to block them out, but you feel very uncomfortable and you feel exposed. So what's your all suggestions on like minimizing roadblocks for like once you've decided to commit? How do we minimize those?
I would say this kind of goes back for what Amy said earlier. Like, make sure that the time that it takes you to get there and to get back makes sense for you and your day and your lifestyle. Like, that's going to minimize some of the excuses that you can use when you wake up. But also another one that I see is if there's a bunch of people lifting heavy weights and you need to go grab the small weights that they're standing in front of, a lot of people will just not go over there and grab them because they feel self-conscious, right? They're not grabbing the heavy weights like everybody else.
Yeah.
So just kind of almost get out of your own way, if you will, and then go grab them and do your thing.
Oh, I like that.
I think even before like like that weight room confidence, I think even just like getting into the gym and minimizing that, even for like non-new people, but just like anyone trying to work out, because we can all hit low motivation times.
Oh,
So
for sure.
I think some things for me to minimize those barriers. I always pack my gym bag the day before. I'm not doing that in the morning at 6
Yeah.
a.m. when I get up. I'm not scrambling around.
Yeah.
I'm gonna forget stuff.
I'll raise my
I
hand on
always-
that one. That's me.
I always have my workout clothes laid out, or the clothes I'm going to wear the night before, because I don't want to pick that's just something else I got to
Yep.
do in the morning that I'm not going to want to do. I like to have my workout planned out, like generally what I'm going to be doing, because I don't want to get in
Yep.
half asleep and like then I'm going to go to the treadmill
Yep.
again, like back in my
Right.
loop. And then maybe something else just to minimize at least those first few visits to the gym is if you have a friend that is maybe a member of the gym, or a friend that can just come and get a day pass and just be there with you, so you're not something about having someone there that you know can help
100%.
can help ease that uncomfortableness.
Even if I have like just a buddy, like, and it's not even that, it's just maybe twice, like 2 times. If I'm going like, this is facts of like when I joined a new CrossFit gym years ago. I'd been training at that point for like 13 years, but I moved. I'd been at my previous CrossFit facility for almost 5 years. I moved cities, and I went to test out this CrossFit facility, and I had to like beg one of my friends to go with me. They actually ended up joining too. But it was just the fact of like having one other person there, like, because it's difficult. We are all human beings, and it's really hard to go in specifically like group classes. Even if you want to like join spin or do yoga, it's sometimes really difficult to just like, okay, I just joined this new gym. I'm going to go to this class. And it's like, oh,
Especially when everybody else knows each other.
yeah,
except
and
for
I
you.
don't know anyone, and
You're
it's
that
just
new character.
yes,
Yeah, season 3.
It is difficult, and so like a lot of times for me, if I have one buddy, I feel better, and then I'm fine from there on.
That's like any social event, not just the gym.
I just need one person to bail me out if
Right.
I need to. We don't even need to really talk to each other, but it's like it's a safety net.
Yeah.
Almost like. For me, in minimizing roadblocks, and you guys know I talk a lot about this, is I really think once you've committed, like, you need to have some self-awareness. Like, don't talk to yourself, but like think about maybe what are some things that are going to get in my way, and think about that honestly instead of just assuming I'm going to make it to the gym 3 days a week. Once you get accustomed to that, like, that's when your commitment and your discipline has set in. But right now, you don't have that. You haven't built that. So it can be where it's like, now my workouts are non-negotiables. Like, I have to hit 4 days a week. It's a non-negotiable for me. I would like to hit 5. If I hit 4, I'm okay. That's my lifestyle. So determining, like, what is yours, what is your non-negotiables, and being, like, really self-aware of what you allow to get in the way. Like, I let my tiredness get in the way a lot. Like, sometimes I'm really tired when I get done from work. And it's because I work out in the evening. And my thing is, like, I literally tell myself, like, just make it there.
Yeah.
Like, if you can just walk in the door. Like, I don't care how your workout goes. Just walk in the door. And once I get there, I'm good.
Yeah. Getting that
I didn't
zone.
want to go yesterday. Like, I wanted to go straight home. And I got there and I'm like, I had a great workout.
Yeah.
So it's just like being really self-aware of that.
Do you ever mix up your workout? So say one day you feel great, you feel energized, so you're going to do your harder one, then mix it up, or do you keep the same routine every week?
I mix it up a little bit where I know usually where I have more energy. Usually Monday is a good day for me. And then it's very weird, but Friday I can like kick it into high gear. I think it's like a closing of the week to me. I always know Thursday is very hard for me. It's just, it's a day that is always been, I'm ready for the weekend. I'm ready to get moving. And it's like, it's just a lot. So I know that. Usually Thursday is a day for me lifting wise that it's probably my most developed part of my body already. So like, I might not have to push it as hard as Mondays.
Yeah.
So
nice.
just one of those things. Amy talked early on about like just stepping on the cardio, stepping on the treadmill. Usually it's elliptical, I feel like, is where it starts.
Yeah.
That's
where it starts.
That's where it
it's
starts.
a gateway.
And it's there. Let me start by saying there is nothing wrong with that at all. But sometimes that doesn't align with your goals. Like your goal isn't to improve your mile time. Your goal is most likely for people is to lose weight. And it's hard to venture outside that comfort zone because, like you said, like everyone knows how to walk. So it's just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna go here. How do we not do that? How do we not navigate right to the cardio section? What would be your all suggestions there?
I think it depends on the person. If you are just very, very uncomfortable, like, and you're watching videos and you just can't get it, then maybe get a coach for a little bit just to help you out. Yeah. But I think the average person, and I think we kind of talked about this when we were planning this, but just pick like 3 exercises, watch some videos, feel comfortable with them, and go try those out. Like venture into the weight area, just something to get your foot in the door, get over there, get comfortable with the space, how to adjust the benches or, where the weights are. Just get familiar in the space with those 3 exercises that you feel pretty good about. Maybe it's just a squat and you're holding a dumbbell. And then maybe it's a push-up and then maybe something else. 3 simple things, 3 rounds of 10 or whatever. And I would say, and then just start from there and just start progressively learning some exercises.
Now, I want to throw this out there for people, and I've struggled with it. For me, even some of these pins that you have to pull out to adjust some of these things can be tough.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to go ask somebody, hey, can you help me with this?
Definitely.
Yes.
Oh, some of those equipment is hard.
Oh, yeah.
Hard to move.
Figure out.
Yeah.
Like I'll get to a piece of equipment. I don't know where the heck the little
You're like
lever is. I'm
looking
looking
all
everywhere.
around.
I'm pulling on stuff, like poking at it.
Especially with like new age stuff that they're coming out with that is like bilateral movement. So like both arms and things move like that. It can be a little bit more difficult. I would say what Eric or Amy said is like, just ask a coach. Like, ask them. A good question to start with is like, what services do you all offer where you're either working in a group setting or one-on-one, or do you have any orientation type of things? That may be a good question to start. And even with personal training, if it's a budget thing and you're like, I know I cannot afford this, it may be where you work with them for a month and do 2 times a week and see how much you can learn in 1 month. And most coaches, like, they know you're not going to, like, they want to help you improve. So that's okay to do that. I think when people sign up for a personal trainer, they're like, this has to be forever. And that's not the case.
Yeah.
But I really like what Amy said, actually, is like, pick 3 movements. 3 movements.
Yeah.
And Google them on YouTube or something else. Then turn the volume on so you can hear the cueing and what you're supposed to be doing. And then you can do your cardio that day. But then find you a spot in the gym and do those 3 movements and do 3 sets of 10 reps. And what I mean is you'll do those 3 movements 3 times through, 10 rounds in each set. And that's all for the day. And then like the next day, do the same ones.
Right.
Yeah, do that for a week or 2.
Get comfortable.
Try
Yeah.
another one. I would do it in front of the mirror too. Watch yourself, see if you're, and kind of compare that with
Yeah.
the videos you're watching. Make sure
That's a
like
good-
it kind of
good
gets
idea.
you more familiar. Because a lot of people, you know, if you haven't really worked out before, you're not very familiar with where your body is in space.
Yeah.
So like you might think
Proprioception.
you might think you are doing exactly what they're doing in the video, but your knees might be collapsing and your stuff is wobbling everywhere. So I would say do it in the mirror too and watch your form.
And then like once you get comfortable doing those movements, you can progress to 3 more. And then before you know it, like think about that if you did that for a year. If you did the same 3 movements for 1 week and then to the next week you added 3 new movements. That's 52
ton.
weeks
Yeah.
of like think how good
Yeah.
like comfortable you would feel. But I feel like our approach is just human beings. It's like either I know how to do it or I don't, and learning it is really difficult.
Well, you just said something too. I want to remind everybody of this time. You said do
Yeah.
it for a year. If you're brand new to fitness and you set a New Year's goal to do X whatever in the gym, it might take longer than 2-3 months.
It will take longer than 2 to 3
So
months.
just putting that out there.
Time, you know how like on your cell phone and things like that, where it's like instant. Fitness is not.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be really raw and real. Like fitness and health is not instantaneous. It really does take the work, but it takes consistent over time
Yeah.
work.
I would still say take before pictures though, because you
Yeah.
might
Oh,
surprise
100%.
yourself.
Yeah.
Even though yes, to see like real big change, and for other people to notice, it will take a little bit longer. But if you really haven't like worked out before, you might start to see results sooner
Yeah.
than you think. But you might not even realize it. So it's good to have those before pictures.
Right.
So I would say at the beginning of the year, take some
Absolutely.
pictures, and it's because it's not always about the number on the scale, especially when you're doing weights.
Look, keep those for yourself. No one has
Yeah.
to see them.
Yeah.
If you don't want, if you do get a coach and you want to share it, great. If you don't, keep it to yourself. Like it's fine. That's not uncommon for people looking to make like a behavior change to do that type of stuff. As we round out this episode, I want to touch on one more thing. Do you guys have like what is your one gym? There's a lot of them, but what is your one gym etiquette or rule of thumb people should know when going into the gym? What's
Put
a
your
s-
weights back.
Put your weights
In the right
back.
spot.
Your weights back in the right spot.
In the right
if you
spot. It
get
drives me
5s
nuts.
out of the 5 slot,
Put
put the
the-
5s back in the 5 slot.
This is true.
I'm the person
is-
that
Oh,
takes
God.
all the weights off, gets them back in the right spot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even if someone's standing in the way, like put them back. Put 'em
That's a
back.
big
Yeah.
one.
And like take your plates off of your bars when you're done.
Unrack your weight.
Unrack
Yes.
your weights.
Your staff will
Put it
like
back.
you.
Put it back.
The gym members will like you. Just don't be that person. Eric.
Oh man, I have a lot. I'm pretty picky, but I'll go with what I mentioned earlier. You see the person that's super sweaty, which I'm one of those people when I work out, but if they don't wipe the equipment off after they're done, it's drenched, it's sweat dripping all over it, and they expect somebody to come up right behind them and use it.
Yeah, that's gross.
Dude, come on, wipe it off.
Especially
Takes
like
10 seconds.
with COVID, like
The gym
you
I
would
go
think
to has
people
bottles
learned.
on every piece of machine and by the benches. It's like, it's real simple.
Yeah. Oh God, I have a lot too. I would say just like pay attention to like what's happening around you. So like there'll be a lot of people that will superset exercises. And what I mean is they'll pick 2 exercises to do and they'll do them back to back. And they're working like, say they're working on like, they're doing dumbbell bicep curls. These are easy ones. Dumbbell bicep curls, but they're using the cable machine to do like tricep
Yeah.
movements. And you literally see them going back and forth. When they're on the dumbbells, like, don't just hop in and like just just undercut the equipment. But what you can do is ask, like, just give them a little ask, like, hey, are you still using this? And most people have on headphones, they'll know exactly what you mean. If you just like point to the cable machine and be like, are you still on this? They'll either give you a thumbs up or they'll tell you like, I have 1 or 2 sets left. So if they tell you like, I have 1 set left, be like, cool. And just wait till they do that set. That's a big gym etiquette thing for like a lot of people that have went to the gym for a long time. That's one of the only things I know that they will kind of get aggravated with. Most people won't say anything. So don't be alarmed. But that is a good question. Like, just be aware of like what's happening with that back and forth type of thing.
I have a couple little quick ones. Not dropping or slamming weights.
Yes.
And like excessive grunting.
I don't know. Unless you're at that,
Excessive
like,
grunting.
Excessive grunting. Only take what you're using, typically. Give people space. Don't breathe down people's necks.
Yeah.
Don't hit your grocery cart on their heels. Like, it's the same thing in the grocery cart, or same thing in the grocery, same thing in the gym.
I would say don't talk too loud on your phone. Like if you get a call, I
Oh my
find
gosh,
that
I have
annoying
a couple of
for
people at
some
my
reason.
gym that do that.
That's annoying. And then I think the last one, just like don't just stare at people. Like I don't know. Don't just,
Can I say if you're not using a piece of equipment and you're just sitting there on your phone texting, get up, get out of the way.
Yeah,
Let
that's
somebody
a
else
good
use
one.
it.
I didn't think about that one. Yeah, that's a good one too.
So we're telling you a lot,
There's some
but these are
sprinkles.
just
these are some sprinkles.
yeah, these are just
about.
these are common courtesy
Right.
things,
Yeah.
I mean,
guys.
no one will
Courtesy.
yell at you, but it's like things that go down in there.
Be
You know?
self-aware.
Yeah, and you'll catch your vibe, right? You'll see where you fit, where you feel comfortable. And I think we gave you a lot of tips today. We spilled the tea.
it's
We
good.
gave you what you needed. So guys, get in the gym, have some fun. We hope you get comfortable. And if you have any questions, just shoot us a message at Humana. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.